In 1307, the Marinid Empire was shaken to its core. Sultan Abu Yaqub Yusuf an-Nasr, scholar, warrior, and empire builder, had been assassinated inside his own palace, sending shockwaves across Morocco and beyond. His death left a throne vulnerable, a war unfinished, and enemies circling like wolves. Into this chaos stepped a new ruler, Abu Thabit Amir, a man untested, unprepared, but destined to face one of the most turbulent moments in Marinid history. Abu Thabit's reign would last barely a year, but within that single year, he would battle betrayal, rebellion, and a collapsing front in Tlemcen. His story is often forgotten, buried beneath the legacies of longer reigning sultans. Yet his brief rule was anything but quiet. It was a desperate attempt to hold together a crumbling siege, a fractured empire, and the very legacy of his father. When Abu Thabit took the throne, the Marinids were entrenched in the 8-year siege of Tlemcen. His father had committed nearly a decade to capturing the city, but now, with the Sultan dead, morale plummeted. Soldiers whispered of doom. Generals questioned their orders. Supplies ran thin. The once formidable siege began to collapse from within. Abu Thabit faced a brutal decision: continue the siege and risk the entire army, or retreat and save the core of the Marinid forces. Against the advice of some commanders, he chose survival. The siege was lifted. The dream of conquering Tlemcen, the obsession of his father, was abandoned. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but Abu Thabit knew that empires cannot be built on dead men and lost battles. But the retreat came at a cost. The Zayanids roared back into power, reclaiming lost ground and threatening the Marinid frontier. Discontent spread across the empire. Rebels rose in the south. Tribal leaders questioned Abu Thabit's legitimacy. The Marinid court was divided, with powerful factions maneuvering for influence. To restore order, Abu Thabit moved swiftly. He crushed uprisings with ruthless precision and secured key cities. He tried to stabilize the economy and re-establish control over fracturing provinces. For a moment, it seemed as though the storm could be weathered. But fate had other plans. In 1308, after barely a year on the throne, Abu Thabit died. Some say of illness, others whisper of poison, assassination, or divine punishment. His death plunged the empire back into uncertainty. Yet his brief reign had not been in vain. He had salvaged the army, preserved the heart of the empire, and bought precious time for the Marinid dynasty to regroup. Abu Thabit Amir may not be celebrated as a conqueror or a builder, but he was a shield in a moment of crisis, a flame in the darkness, and a sultan who dared to stand while the empire trembled. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a forgotten chapter of Moroccan history, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more epic stories from the Islamic world and beyond. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode.